It's me, Retro.
Hello. Okie dokie.
And welcome to InRetroSpection, where we review the retro today. I am Joshua Caleb, and joining me, as always, is the lovely Zach Williamson.
I'm lovely this week, man. I am moving up in the world. This is awesome.
Woo-hoo,
Yes,
good looking.
I'm going to have to start referring to you as an actual co-host now.
Ooh, I've made co-host status. Let's see. I guess it's, hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 6. So I guess 6 episodes in, you make co-host.
How much are you making these days?
I am making twice what I was making when we got started.
All right.
Hell yeah.
I'm only making about 20 cents, so however you want to split that.
I'll let you guys split the 20 cents. I'll give my bargain up.
Yes. So joining us once again is Android developer extraordinaire Jeremy Veit.
What's up?
Woo!
So how are all you guys doing?
All right.
I'm great. I'm doing the show, and in the background, I'm still watching the tail end of Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So, yeah, it's a good day. It's a nice, wonderful Tuesday evening here in sunny Florida.
Yeah,
My wife was in Florida today. She's out exploring the world, so I got the house all to myself.
Yes, and I actually have company over right now, but since we do this every Tuesday, that they're watching a movie, so I can do this in my room and not disturb them, and they don't disturb me, so that all works out good.
They should have a laptop out and be watching the show.
I think my ISP would cry, and my modem would probably short out.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right.
They can just listen from outside the door, put their ear to the wall.
Yeah, but then they couldn't hear you guys.
Oh, I can talk really loud.
And then we'll get a feedback loop. Anyway, are you guys feeling your inner plumber today?
Wow!
I fixed my shower once.
Good. So our last episode was about classic platformers, and that kind of started something, since there are tons of platformers, especially in the old days of consoles. So we thought we would start doing a series of podcasts on platformers, specifically targeting the various platforming stars. And you can't really start talking about platformers without, of course, talking about everyone's favorite Italian plumber, who I think in this might be the game where he actually did get his name changed to
Luigi.
Mario and Luigi from Jumpman.
Oh, yeah, Mario. Yeah, Mario, of course.
Mario, and Luigi Mario. Hey, this is what I do sometimes. Sometimes I go and I hit turtles and kick them in the face.
It's a lot of turtles.
Yes,
There's a lot of turtles.
This is actually, I think, the first game where they actually set Mario they actually set his profession as being a plumber. Otherwise, he was originally, I think, a carpenter, because the original Donkey Kong took place on building scaffolds. But when they made this, they had the whole flipping the animals and pests or whatever didn't really fit the plumber, didn't really fit the carpenter profession. And since he was wearing overalls and a hat anyway, that just sort of fit with plumber. So
Now, is this for Nintendo? Looks like Nintendo.
I think it was. It was originally, I think, first as a arcade cabinet, which I think was what we're seeing here. And they then released it on the Nintendo
all of the arcade games that featured Mario were eventually released for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, and actually, yeah, a lot of arcade games were re-released as Nintendo games.
I do believe I had this one for my original Atari that I had. Graphics weren't as good though.
Was that a clone? Because did they they couldn't have released this on Atari, could they?
I think they did have an Atari one. They
Yeah,
are on the
I
Wikipedia page, and I'm pretty sure I played it.
yeah, I'm actually, I think you're right. Hold on,
Oh,
let's see.
yeah. So that would have been before they had their own console. So they would have had to, if they wanted their games on homes, they would have had to do the Atari. Yeah, this is actually sort of a fun little game. You can actually play 2 players simultaneously, and both of you run around trying to hit all the crabs and turtles and whatnot.
I've spent my entire adult life trying to avoid crabs. Oh
Good,
man, even that
good,
was bad
good
even
idea.
for me.
Yeah, and then they all actually, what was even more interesting, which they re-released this on the Game Boy Advance as sort of a pack-in on the Game Boy Advance Mario games. They re-released it as a sort of almost massive multiplayer where you had up to 4 people all playing, and they actually added some more features like the ability to pick up your opponents. You jump on top of them and lift them up, and then you could throw them into other enemies.
Well, when they ported this over as the multiplayer minigame in Super Mario Bros. 3, you had that ability too. And if you remember, and I know we'll get to this later, but when you would clear a stage in Super Mario Bros. 3, you would get a little card, or yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were playing 2 players, you could actually knock your opponent in the head or jump on top of him, and you could get that, you could steal their card. By playing the original Mario Brothers minigame.
Oh, yeah. I don't think I ever played the Mario Bros. 3 in multiplayer. On the Game Boy Advance version of this, they added the Bowser boss fights. After so many levels, you would get to a stage that had Bowser marching around on the top of it, breathing fireballs. And you all, I think, competed to collect as many coins or be the last man standing, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I wish, I don't think they have this on the any of the home consoles. I think it was just the Game Boy Advance. So anyway, next the next game they actually is when the Mario Brothers became Super, which we talked about this one last week.
And I will get sentimental again.
Yes, it's a little hard not to.
You know, I tear up every time I talk about it like this, but this is the first video game I ever played.
Mm-hmm.
This was my gateway game.
And it was definitely a incredible game to start out with.
Oh
Yeah,
man.
it's a
If
good
there
introduction.
was a game that could get you hooked on video games, this is pretty much it. Especially back then, this was the de facto game. For
Oh,
the
absolutely.
the home consoles, especially.
I spent many hours, days. I remember my grandma was the first one to have a Nintendo system, and we used to go up to grandma's house and play Mario. She had the double version. It had Mario and Duck Hunt on the same cartridge.
Oh yeah.
Let me just go ahead and say this right now. Jeremy, your grandma kicks ass.
My grandma did kick ass. My grandma was pretty kick ass worthy.
Yeah, see, I had to play alone because no one else was that into, except my dad. He was kind of into video games, but no one else was into them that much or as good at them.
I taught my mother how to play this.
I think I tried to teach my mom how to play Donkey Kong Country, and it didn't end very well.
Oh yeah, I can see how that might not end well. That's a pretty intense first game.
Yeah.
This game gets pretty intense on the later levels.
Oh man, does it?
Yeah.
Some of the castles, some of the four levels on
yeah.
here, they are insane.
And I know I personally hated the Lakitu levels.
Oh yeah,
Those
where they
were
would just
horrible.
Oh god.
Because you're trying to run along and avoid all these pits and traps, and then you have this guy floating around this cloud throwing spike bombs on you that turn into
then
spiky
it's
little
like-
turtles that come chase after you.
You have
And
to
then
kill him
you
as quickly
kill
as
him.
possible.
But then he comes back.
Then he comes right back.
Yeah,
3 seconds later,
He
he's back.
dies.
you get a little time after killing him though.
Not a lot.
Not much though. Not much.
Oh, the
other
Lakitu
thing
and
is-
the Hammer Brothers. I hated
Yes.
the
Oh,
Hammer
yeah.
Brothers.
They throw hammers so fast, like they just lob them out.
You have to have fireballs or you're dead.
Oh, I hate
The
the
original
spring.
Hammer Brothers were absolutely the worst too, man.
Yeah.
Dude, they were by far the hardest.
Well, and then in some of the boss levels, Bowser gets to throw hammers too.
He's like spitting fireballs and throwing hammers and
Jumping up and
jumping
down.
all around.
If you time it just right, you can run and jump through the hammers without any trouble. It's pretty sweet.
Or run directly underneath them.
Although the most fun thing to do is if you can make it all the way to where you have firepower, and you hit him enough times,
Yeah, then he'll
It's
just
funny
flip
because-
over. And...
he'll turn into different things when he dies. Like one time he'll die as a Goomba, or he'll die as
oh
a
yeah, that's right. Did they?
I think they
change that or
die as
something?
like more difficulty enemies. Like the first level you kill him, he's a Goomba, and later I think he's a turtle, and then like
But-
the really late levels, he's a Hammer Brother.
Were there different revisions of that? Because I swear I've seen or played certain versions of this where you hit him with a whole bunch of fireballs, he just flips upside down and falls into the lava pit. But I do remember him also turning into a Goomba or a Koopa or whatever else. So did they have different revisions? Because they know they had the 2 different pack-in or dual titles.
Well,
Duck
it would
Hunt and
change depending on which castle you were in, whether you were in World 1, 2, 3, so on through 8.
So did one of them he just flipped over and fell, and the later ones he would start turning into stuff?
I think so, yeah.
I think he only falls over on the last level because that's supposed to be the real Bowser. Browser.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. It's
Yeah,
kind of like
that
the
would-
code principle.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
if
all the
your-
other ones are
if
fake
your
ones.
princess is always in another castle, why wouldn't your Bowser be in another castle?
Yeah, exactly. Uh-oh, you found the princess. Rant! She's in another house. Go away. What in the hell is she doing?
See, if you watch the College Humor video, then you find out exactly what she was doing.
Oh, I have watched that video.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. All right, next, which this didn't, the direct sequel to this didn't come to the States until much later. But this is the technical sequel to the Super Mario Brothers. Though it seemed to me it seems more like a expansion pack.
This game was epic. This game brought in like all kinds of evil,
Yeah,
and
the
you could
poison
play
mushrooms.
as either one.
Did this one added
Poison
poison mushrooms? So you'd hit a
mushrooms.
block, a little mushroom pops out, and think, "Ooh, cool mushroom," and then
Then you die.
You die.
I never played this one.
Well, yeah, because this one was released in Japan only, and it was
Now-
basically the same game. They just tweaked the graphics ever so slightly and made the levels a lot harder.
Yeah, this was the original Super Mario Brothers 2. This is what Japan got as their Super Mario Brothers 2.
We
Which
got
for
it
them
as-
made sense.
Yeah. 'Cause
However,
it's like an expansion almost, but we didn't
Right.
get it until the Super Nintendo, and then it was Super Mario Brothers: The Lost Levels.
right, in the Super Mario All Stars
Yes.
pack. Wow, I can't believe I almost forgot that for a second.
Well, see, I just bought the Wii version of the Super Mario All Stars, so I've been playing that. Yeah, so there's not a whole lot to this other than that it's the same game, more levels, more difficulty. They tweaked the textures a little bit, but essentially it's the same game.
Right.
Are the clouds the same image as the bushes? It looks like it. Just can't see the
They're
mouth.
close.
Oh yeah, you are right. I think the bushes are green clouds.
Yeah,
I think
they are.
I think they're just the bushes are a little farther down, so you just can't see the mouth, but the top's the same.
Yeah. But the Super Mario Brothers 2 that most of us know actually isn't really a Mario game.
This game
It
was
was-
weird.
This game, much like the premise of the storyline, was a really bad dream.
Well, this was basically Mario's Adventures of Link.
God, that's awfully accurate.
Yeah, it was the second game, totally different, totally weird.
What is it with like this generation of video games where the second game was completely different and awful?
Yeah, I don't, well, because when a couple weeks ago we talked about the Toe Jam and Earl. The first one, was sort of that adventure-y kind of game, and then the second one
Was
was
a complete pile of
side-scroller platformer. While still, good, it was totally different than the first one.
This is all very wrong.
Yes, this actually was originally called Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Panic,
Doki Doki Panic!
which where's my translation?
Oh God, I don't
It-
think you can translate that.
No, there is
I
a
think-
literal translation to it. I think I have the wrong page up. No, wait, there it is. I have no idea if I'm pronouncing this correctly. I'd have to ask my buddy who knows Chinese. But Yumi Kojo Doki Doki Paniku translates literally as Dream Factory Heart Pounding Panic.
Oh, I thought it translated into poorly ported North American Mario game.
Well, yeah, because when Japan got this game, it was called Super Mario USA.
Oh, I know.
So they know who exactly who to blame for it.
Yeah, no, it wasn't ours originally. They had it first.
Well, they had the heart pounding whatever Dream Factory game. We got a Mario skin on top of it. If I am correct.
Is this a time trial or speed attack video we're watching of this?
Oh, probably.
This guy's hauling ass to this level.
Yeah, there's so
Hey,
many of those.
I
speed
got good at this
things.
game only because I didn't want to. I would start playing it accidentally. I would start playing it and realize, oh God, why am I playing this game? And then I would try to get through it as fast as possible because I couldn't just very well leave it undone. That would
Yeah.
just be wrong.
Yeah, I had it for the Game Boy Advance version of it, and I think I played through the entire thing. It wasn't bad. It was very weird. Definitely, when you think of Mario, this isn't what you think of.
I always used to play as the princess because she could float in the air.
Either
And
the
it-
princess or Luigi, because Luigi had the super jump,
Luigi could jump for like a mile at a time, and the princess would jump up, and then she would just float the entire way.
Yeah, that
It was
was
But
great.
if you got like a ton of speed up and then you did a high jump and then you floated at high speed in the air, you could like clear half the level in like a couple jumps. It's pretty
Yeah.
sweet.
Oh, it was great.
And that was like the first and one of the only games where you could actually play as the princess.
And it was also one of the first and only games where you could jump on top of whales as they were spouting things.
Or jump on top of anything and pick it up and throw it. And
That's
Yeah,
right.
just
If
the
Super
whole-
Mario Brothers
All
2
the
taught me
mechanics are
anything-
different.
If
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers 2 taught me anything, it's that I could just pick up anything and throw it at anybody else.
or that vegetables are lethal weapons.
No, I knew that already.
Oh, okay. Yes, because this you couldn't actually you couldn't jump on top of an enemy to defeat it. You had to actually pick it up and throw it or something else into it. So it's wasn't really a Mario game. Even though
I wonder how many nightmares that face has spawned for children across the world.
Oh,
chases
have you seen that? That's nothing. Have you seen our Zelda episode? We did the 25th anniversary of Zelda, and we talked about reed heads.
Oh my god. Oh, it gives me shudders just thinking about them. Like, I don't get creeped out by things, but reed heads take the cake, man.
Yeah,
Not sure familiar with the reed heads or whatever.
You'll have to go watch our Zelda episode.
All right.
God, watching this guy play through is insane. I never had the testicular fortitude to make some of these jumps, man.
I wonder if he has
You
a
might be
computer
using
program.
a tool-assisted kind of.
Yeah, so some of
recording
them I
here.
know would use that.
I think he's a tool.
All right, well, our next game, which also like the Zelda series, brought everything back to its original roots. Super Mario 3, which I think was the first one.
This video game.
Hmm?
This video game taught me the difference between left and right.
And
I
Really?
learned left and right on the map screen in this game.
yes, because this was the first Mario game, I believe, to introduce an overworld map. This is also the first game where Mario dresses up like a raccoon.
I remember magazines. I forget what gaming magazine it was, but I remember before this game was released, getting excited about it because I learned that Mario could fly, and they had an image of Mario dressed up as a raccoon flying, and I was like, "Oh man, I so gotta get this."
Yeah,
I think that was in Nintendo Power they featured that.
Yeah, that's like one of the
One of the first issues of Nintendo Power, it featured this game.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's one of the most
might have
popular
been.
Mario.
I remember that pretty clearly.
Yeah, that's
except
one of the
the
most
name.
popular Mario poses, is him in his raccoon suit flying through
Good
the air.
God, look at this guy go! Holy crap!
Yeah, see, that's actually me.
Oh, is that you?
No. I am nowhere near this good.
Yeah, this is my favorite classic Mario game. Yeah, my roommate Chris is sitting here and he's nodding his head. You know, he's like, "This is my favorite Mario game ever."
This probably tops mine too. I mean, all the different like costumes you could get. You could turn into a statue, and
Yeah,
You
the
could turn
frog.
into a.
there's a
You could
frog.
turn into oh, the frog was the best.
yeah, frog.
You
could
could
become a
turn
hammer
into
brother.
a hammer brother.
Like you could fight
Yeah.
hammer with hammers. It was
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
great.
pretty sweet.
Except, you know, in this game they introduced the Boomerang brothers, and that just ruined it again.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you bring hammers, they bring boomerangs. You bring boomerangs, they bring AK-40s.
Oh my God. Son of a bitch.
And all on those, yeah, you duck on the white things, and you
Ah, a little
fall
trick
behind the
there.
world.
Yes, this I think was also one of the first ones where Mario actually got to use items. actually collect items that you could activate on the overworld map if you were going into a level and you needed some extra power, like a raccoon suit or a hammer suit or something.
And then once you beat the game, okay, you had the P-wing. The P-wing was great because it would turn you into the raccoon, and then you would have your power up for the entire level until you got
Oh
Oh,
hit.
yes.
yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
Fly
that
through
was
the
pretty
whole
sweet.
thing. And then once you beat the game and went back to the World 1 map, your entire inventory was nothing but P-wings.
Oh,
It
that
was
would
like,
be.
here, fly through the entire game. Go ahead, have fun.
Oh yeah, and then this one also, well, it was sort of funny when they introduced a little more of a story, and all the Bowser's kids, which apparently Bowser has kids.
Yeah, right? Where's their
Well,
mother?
if you watched a College Humor video, it also explained that, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's true. Yeah, you're right. The fireworks! I love the fireworks.
Yeah, this one
And
had a
oh, the end card. Oh,
it had a
the end
funny
card,
ending
white
on this
mushroom.
one.
God, there was everything in this game. It
There's
like
really
this
a
game.
lot to it.
Yeah.
Up there's the P-wing.
P-wing, yep.
Yeah, and I liked the ending on this one because they sort of made fun of, I'm assuming, what had then become a meme from the original Super Mario Brothers. When you finally defeat Bowser at the end of the level, or at the end of the game, and you go into the room and rescue Princess Peach, he goes, "Oh, thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle." And he goes,
Just kidding.
"Ah,
It's like,
yeah, just kidding."
it's like, Princess, you don't get to make that joke. It's not funny when you say it. The first time I played it and she did that, I almost walked back out of the room, but the game wouldn't let me.
Yes, this one you could actually jump on top of Bowser and he wouldn't hurt you.
No, he would still hurt you.
Or was it the Koopalings you could do that?
It was the Koopalings you could do that.
Okay.
The Koopalings, that was the way to defeat them, was to jump on their head 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the one where you don't actually fight Bowser per se unless you have like a fire weapon or hammer weapon or something like that. You just have to keep letting him pound his way through to the always present lava pit.
Seen this mechanic
yes.
on a lot of games, like Spelunky. I don't know if anybody's played Spelunky.
I've played it a bit, not a lot.
I've never actually played it. I've never even heard of it.
It's a sort of an indie PC game that was apparently a little sleeper hit that I think is now coming to the Xbox and PS3.
Why is this guy trying to like break every block in the level?
I don't know. It's one of those things, one of those videos where they like to toy with Bowser. There's a bunch of them.
Ooh.
Okay, so
Come on, really?
Yeah, I
Is
know,
this
right?
really necessary?
all right. Well, we'll take a break from the consoles and quickly move on to the portable versions of Mario.
Oh, this is the part where I start to cringe a little bit.
Yes, the first Super Mario Land for the original Game Boy. Yeah.
Super Mario Land might have been the most, like, I understand it was a monochrome screen, but man, this was some kind of an acid trip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This game was so weird.
Well, and the graphic, well, sort of the graphics, but the proportions and everything was like way off. Mario is like a giant, and all the Goombas are like the tiny little rodents. All your little question blocks and all the items you're supposed to get or hit are like the size of his hand. So it would just seeing that accompanied with the physics that were a little wonky, it just seemed really hard to play.
I think what happened was a bunch of the guys at Nintendo that were like a bunch of the interns or something got together and said, "Hey, we can make a game too. Our game will be awesome."
Yeah.
And then somebody said, "Okay, well let's publish it and see what happens."
Oh,
Because
your
they didn't know any
fireballs pick
better.
up coins?
Yeah, apparently his fireballs are like little boomerangs.
Hmm.
Weird. Next on our portable game list, which I think this is the one I actually hadn't played quite a bit of, which I think fared a little better than the original. Super Mario Land 2, which again has the overworld map, and I think the graphics definitely clean things up a bit and fix some of the proportion issues. I think the physics I think were a little better too.
I loved this game. Like, well, of course, after Super Mario Land, the original Super Mario Land,
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't make it any worse. And then they brought in all kinds of things to this one. This was actually the first one where Mario got hats.
Oh yeah, he had his bunny hat,
He had the bunny hat.
which allowed him to
And
fly.
the bunny hat, he could and float around. It was awesome.
And he had the little Indian.
Yeah, that was how he
Ponto
did his
hat.
fireballs with the little Indian feather hat thingy.
And then he had a spacesuit too, because there actually were levels in space.
There was a spacesuit. That's right. Oh, there was a whole world on the moon. Hey, look, Joel's in the chat room.
Yes.
Hi, Joel.
Yes, we forgot to mention that our other regular guest that joins us was unable to make it because his equipment suffered some damage when he was out in the field. I think he was trying to track down that elusive Legend of Zelda Game & Watch console. So yeah, those Octoroks and Moblins will get you every time.
Redeads.
Oh, yeah, I wonder if he didn't come run into those.
Look, there he is in his spacesuit. Oh, isn't he so adorable with his little spacesuit and his little bubble helmet?
And he sort of floats.
Oh, I remember. This is the one where pigs were evil. Pigs were in space.
Cannon pigs.
It's
This was
like a
before
bad
Angry
Muppet joke.
Birds.
Pigs in space.
Yeah, this was the precursor to Angry Birds.
Oh yeah, angry pigs.
When
Yeah.
first pigs became evil.
Oh.
This one also introduced Mario's other arch nemesis, his evil twin Wario. And also in Princess Peach's counterpart, Princess Daisy.
Oh yeah. See, yeah. I'm not even gonna get started on that. That's an
I think
argument
I've
that
heard
I'll
of
never.
Princess Daisy before.
You have?
Oh yeah, she
Oh,
became.
okay.
She was kind of the antithesis to Princess Peach. Peach is
Whoops.
the pink blonde, and Daisy is the yellow brunette.
Yeah, and you know what? There was one before that, because before she was Peach, she was Toadstool, and she was a redhead. By
Oh
God.
yes, Princess Toadstool. That's right.
Mhm.
Which they actually, in one of the other Mario games that we're gonna get to, they sort of explain that her name is actually Princess Toadstool. Her nickname is Peach.
Boo. I
Something
call
like-
shenanigans. That's bad canon.
Yeah. Alright, did we want to, I don't know, for the last of our old retro handhelds, do we want to quick mention the Game Boy Advance remakes of all the original Mario games?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So yeah, the Game Boy Advance was released. They redid all 3, 4, 5, well actually 5 of the old Mario games, and basically amped up the graphics and sound, added voices and whatnot, a couple new features. So you had your Mario 2, which was oddly enough the first one they did. And then you had your Mario 3, your Mario World, your Yoshi's Island and whatnot. But strangely enough, they didn't do...
Yoshi's my hero.
Yeah, well, we'll get to him in just a minute. Oddly enough, they didn't re-release the original Super Mario Brothers on the Game Boy Advance. Which seemed weird because they did it on Super Mario All-Stars for the Super Nintendo. See, these basically, I think, are like ports of the Super Nintendo Super Mario All-Stars game.
Dun, 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 dun.
Remastered music.
Yes.
Oh, I tell you what, there's nothing like hearing classic video game music, like reorchestrated in a later version of the game.
Mm-hmm. It really gives you all that depth that you knew was there in the first place, but you just couldn't quite be conveyed across 8-bit synthesizers. Oh yeah, and these were the games that all included the Mario Brothers arcade remake, the multiplayer and whatnot. Alright, so then our next game, going back to the Super Nintendo, was Super Mario World. Probably one of the most epic Mario games.
Yeah, when I said the Super Mario 3 for the Super Nintendo, or
There is the NES.
Oh, yeah, and the regular Nintendo was the best. I may have been mistaken. I probably spent more time playing this one than the NES version.
Oh my god, this is the big angry nasty version.
Yeah, this is like one of those custom super difficult
ROMs,
levels.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, love Super Mario World. Matter of fact, Super Mario World had a there was a section I was having trouble with, and at the time, Nintendo actually had a hotline that you could call for tips.
Yeah, the Nintendo
And it was
hotline.
it was like $2.99 to call their tip line for game help, and I actually called it because I was having issues with the map in Super Mario World, and so turns out I was wrong, but that's why I called the tip line.
Yeah, and then this was also the game that they introduced Mario's other sidekick, Yoshi. So, little green dinosaur that it was like Kirby in that he eats just about everything in sight.
Big fan of Yoshi.
Yeah, definitely. Did this one also have alternate paths on the levels?
There were. You could choose to go. Some levels had 2 exits,
Yeah,
and
particularly
depending
I
on
think
which
the
exit
Boo
you chose,
houses.
it would take you a different path.
The Boo houses, I think in particular, had various exits, or there were only one true exit, or something like that. There was lots of different ways to go. And I think that this is one for the Mario flying, because Mario has to fly. They ditched the animal hats and just gave him a cape.
Oh, the cape! I love the cape.
Yeah, they actually attached some pretty interesting physics to it, because once you jumped up in the air and were flying, you would grab the tail ends of the cape and you could kind of billow it out to kind of slow your descent or glide around the level, or just dip straight down into a super ground slam.
Man, bringing back memories of playing that game. I don't immediately remember that, but when you say how he grabbed his cape and it made the little
Uh-huh.
sound.
Yeah. Good lord, this is the most insane version of this game I've ever seen.
Yeah, how many times would I die trying to figure this one out?
No doubt.
Alright, should we move on to our next Mario game, which actually wasn't really a Mario game per se. Oh wow, that is insane. Who comes up with these things? Okay, anyway. The sequel to this, Super Mario World 2, was actually the first game that starred Yoshi as the main character instead of Mario. And this actually took place before all of the Mario games in the actual timeline.
This is another one I don't think I played.
See, this is one I have played and finished. That was a really cool game because it wasn't really a Mario game, so they had a whole bunch of different like physics and gameplay elements, but it was an incredible game. Even though it wasn't really Mario. This one Mario was probably the most annoying character actually.
Look at all the pretty colorful Yoshis. They're pretty and colorful and stuff.
Yeah, and the cute little baby Mario. It was in the original Super Nintendo one. I don't know if Yoshi actually really had a voice, did he? I know the
I
Game
don't think
Boy.
he really talked until till Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, because the Game Boy Advance remake of Yoshi's Island, they added in all of the voice clips and his signature little yips and yaps. But I don't think the Super Nintendo one had that. It just had Baby Mario and his annoying crying.
No, yeah, grumble, grumble, grumble.
I think when you got hurt, when you're on Yoshi, didn't it make a sound? Like a Yoshi sound? When you got knocked off and Yoshi would run away?
On Super Mario World?
Yeah, for Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I actually don't remember exactly. It might have on the original Super Mario World when you're riding Yoshi. It might have made he might have made a little sound when he got hurt and started running around. This one, whenever Yoshi gets hurt, Baby Mario falls off his back and starts wailing incessantly. This is probably the first game where people actually started to hate Mario. Yeah, but this had a ton of different mechanics, completely new to the Mario games. Yoshi could do that sort of flutter, fly, float thingy when he jumped. He could eat everything and turn it into an egg that he could then throw. He could do like little ground pounds. He could use his tongue to snap up stuff. And the projectiles were actually a very integral part of the Mario game, which is... They didn't do that since Mario 2, or a Mario game that actually focused a lot on projectiles. But I think they were done much better in this than Mario 2. So, should we move to another game that we covered last week on Mario's transition to 3D?
Let's roll.
Do it. Wow!
As you would
It's
do when you
Mario
fall
on the
off.
Nintendo 64.
Yeah, see, the Princess Toadstool, Peach. So apparently her name is Peach Toadstool. Which has to be one of the most ridiculous names.
Peach Daisy Stool. Well, that doesn't sound right at all.
Yeah, I don't know what Daisy's last name is. It's always been Princess Daisy as far as I know.
And Princess Toadstool. I'm a diehard.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, Daisy wasn't even a princess. Daisy was just some random chick.
I thought she was the in Super Mario Land 2. She was the princess of the land that Mario went to visit, and Wario was making a mess of things, so Mario had to stop him.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Daisy was actually ever a princess. I think Daisy was just Daisy. Because she was lame.
I really enjoy watching the glitch videos for this game when they can complete the whole thing in like a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
Mario
we're
can
gonna
slide
have to
upstairs.
do an episode or something on these insane video game glitches, because I've seen the one for this, and it is absolutely ridiculous what he does. Basically starts a new game and has it finished in about 5 minutes, and he's only played like 2 levels. I think that had partly to do with the 3D graphics and the collision detection and stuff. So there are several times where you'll jump straight through a wall and wind up in a floor 2 stories up.
Graphics are funny.
They're still perfecting their code.
Yeah, which they actually managed to get an amazing number of things right with this, being like the first 3D Mario game and one of the very early 3D games. Yeah, this Mario actually learned some hand-to-hand combat. Actually had the ability to punch and kick. Yeah, I think he must have learned that ground pound from Yoshi.
I think you did.
Yeah, but before he just kind of jumped on things.
They did a really good job with the number of polygons they had to work with, and the texture resolutions. It still looked pretty good.
Yeah, it's even you play it now on like the Wii Virtual Console or something, it still is pretty sharp. And then of course they re-released this on the Nintendo DS as Super Mario 64 DS or whatever, and they added a bunch of characters that you had to trade off between because they each had like different abilities or something. And they added a few bonus levels and whatnot.
Oh my god, these slides, these are the worst levels in this game.
Slide levels are just evil.
They are evil. They are just, they're wretchedly wicked.
So they're too slippery and slidey, and you're going down at 90 miles per hour and you can't steer, and there's no rails or anything.
There's this
Oh no!
They're lots of fun to play, but yeah, it was hell to actually get through it.
Joel says they're witching. They are witching in the worst way possible.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I think there's a race of penguin part here
Yeah,
where you get a star sometime
yes, because
later in the game.
they introduced various objectives where each level had like 6 different objectives that you could complete.
What? It's like a detour. I never seen this.
Yeah, there was a piece of wall there that actually wasn't there that you can go through, and it's a little shortcut.
Hmm.
Yeah, that they
It's a
had.
programmer's hallway. It's like the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. They programmed all kinds of little secret areas and tunnels and whatnot. Because that's the original Super Mario Brothers, and all the ones after that had all kinds of secret tunnels and areas. Okay, should we go a little more current now
Bring it on.
with Mario's jump to, what is it, a 128-bit system? Is that what the GameCube was?
I guess so. Although you guys can enjoy this one because I wasn't a fan of this game.
I liked it, but looking back on it now, well, for one, it had one of the longest and most boring video game intros ever.
Now these are getting a little too new for me. I believe Mario 64 was the latest Mario game I got to play.
Oh, see, there's one later on that you're gonna have to get your hands on. Believe me, it is well worth it. But we'll get to that when we get to the Wii.
All right.
Yep. This one, they again sort of changed the gameplay and gave Mario a water jetpack thing called Flood. So yeah, this you were basically a walking fire hydrant. The whole objective of the game was to run around squirting things. Or you could also hook up a little dual nozzle and use the water to hover, which was actually kind of nifty, but it did kind of ruin the whole platforming aspect of Mario. So then it wasn't so much about making the jumps as just kind of making sure you had enough water to hover across the jump. But it pretty much kept the same structure as Super Mario 64, where you had a little overworld area that they fleshed out a little more with various NPCs and whatnot, and then you would have your actual game worlds that you would go into, and each had various objectives that you would complete to get a little shine sprite. Because this game, you're actually playing Mario as a fugitive. He's a criminal that has been convicted of mucking up the island, so you have to go and clean everything up.
How very Wario of him.
Yes. There's also introduced the piantas, which are very strange. Probably more strange than the little toadstool guys. Yeah, so this was a good game, but definitely not one of the best Mario games.
Yeah, I still disown it.
Well, at least it's a little more Mario than Mario 2.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, at least this resembles and follows the same structure as Mario 64. They just gave him a Super Soaker to do everything with.
That's a good way to put it. They gave Mario a Super Soaker.
Super Soaker that talks. Though there were various levels where you would go into the like these negative worlds that you would have your Super Soaker thing stolen from you, and you were put in this maze of floating platforms that you had to navigate using only your jumps and your dives and whatever from Mario 64. So they had to throw a few of those in there to keep the original Mario spirit. And of course, once again, the princess is captured.
Stupid princess.
Did she just like her pants there?
She may very well have, yes.
Yeah, because right when she got picked up, all of a sudden,
No, that's actually
all over the
the
floor.
magic paintbrush that's gooing up the island. But yeah, it looks kind of weird, like it almost
See,
looks
there
like
it
a
is.
caramel, gooey slime stuff. Very weird.
See, no, you should not paint on a wall and it makes the pipe sound. It is not a pipe.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, there were a few pipes.
This game fails at being a Mario game.
Yeah, it succeeded in being a halfway decent platformer, but a Mario game, not so much. All right, well, before we move to Mario's next big home console, we'll take a quick detour to the Nintendo DS.
Oh,
And possibly one of the best Mario games since the original Super Nintendo.
this is amazing. I love this game. This brought back Mario the way it was meant to be.
Well, they returned to the 2D side-scroller thing and basically kept all of the original elements of the original Super Mario Brothers and just gave it fancy new levels, level design, and graphics, and a couple new power-ups. Not a whole lot.
This game combined a lot of elements from most of the classic series.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it so well. It's a very, very polished piece. I have to say, I was extremely proud to play this game.
Yeah, this was an incredible game. Oh, and one thing I didn't I didn't notice initially, but apparently, at least on this level, the Goombas and some of the other enemies actually dance to the music.
Oh yeah, they got even better in one of the ones we're going to talk about in a few minutes, the new Super Mario Brothers Wii.
Yeah, but it would be playing the classic Mario ground theme, and then when they did a little da da da, the Goombas would hop up in the air in sync with the music.
Or Koopa Troopas would like dance. They would face the camera and dance side to side.
Yeah, they really started pulling out all the stops on the sound design. Oh, and then they also on this I think this is the only one that does it. They introduced the Mega Mushroom, which was
Oh yeah,
a rare but
Oh, I
kind of
love
fun
this.
power-up.
Whoa.
you could destroy everything.
I know, I mean, how many times have you just wanted to go through a Mario level and you're just so frustrated with just crush everything. Heck, even
You get a
kicks the
giant
flag
mushroom,
over.
you crush everything, and then you get an extra life.
Yeah, you get a whole ton of extra lives for crushing everything.
Was that the star, or did they have another star?
No, they had the regular star, but the big mushroom just let you just run through the level as a giant real quick and just obliterate everything in the level ever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter whether it was blocks, pipes, enemies, you just run through it
The
all.
end flag.
The flag, yeah, you knock the flag over.
Yeah, the star just gives you temporary invincibility, but you still have to maneuver through everything. The Mega Mushroom, which I think they only put those in certain ideal areas, but yeah, the Mega Mushroom, you just become a gargantuan giant and just destroy everything. Just doesn't even matter.
Destroy all Goombas.
Yes. Alright, well now moving on to the current console, the Nintendo Wii. Mario's first platforming outing was definitely something a bit different on Super Mario Galaxy.
It was very different, but it's such a fun game.
Yeah, I had this and I played it a little. I don't know how many levels I got through, but I will give them tons of points and props for the creativity. Because I mean, the idea of shooting between planets and running around sideways, upside down on these little planetoids.
And the ever-changing gravity.
Yeah,
and
that is very creative. That is, I don't think there has ever been a platform that's done that. But at least on this one, on most of the levels, I always felt kind of claustrophobic almost on the levels.
Yeah, it did get to be in some pretty tight quarters, especially considering a lot of these little planetoids were really small.
Yeah, it felt like there wasn't as much. I mean, I may have been spoiled by Mario 64 and Mario Sunshine of the sort of, Zelda-like open worlds and levels. But a lot of the levels just seemed very small and tight, and there wasn't a whole lot there. You just kind of maneuvered the obstacles, got to the star, and ended the level. But I think there were bigger levels that I think had that weren't the round, all changing gravity type thing, that had more of the stable gravity. But I don't know, they still felt a little claustrophobic.
Yeah, this game was most definitely a step in the right direction for it's like Super Mario 64 for the Wii, and it was just so well done.
Taking things in a new and different direction, but doing it very well.
Marble Madness level looks like here.
Yeah, and it's got the classic music going on.
Oh yeah, and the faster you roll the ball, the faster the music goes.
Or Super Monkey Ball.
Yeah,
Super
it is
Monkey
sort of.
Ball. There's a game.
Super Mario Ball. Alright, well, shall we move on to the game that Zach has been drooling over probably since we
Oh my God, this is
started?
my favorite current gen Mario game by far.
I have yet to play this one. I'm assuming it's going to be pretty similar to the DS one, but I really want to play this and try out the multiplayer. But it's basically Super Mario Brothers for the Wii with 4-player competitive co-op.
It's everything that it's like they took every single thing from Super Mario Brothers 1, 2, 3, Super Mario World, put it all in one big pot, let it stew for a little bit, and then serves 4 people.
Yeah, this is like the 4-sword the real four sword of Mario. Cause he had the
Does
Mario
the player
Brothers.
just die when like one gets left behind?
If
Like
they get
he-
left too far behind, they'll sometimes die.
Or I think they'll
Um,
get picked up or carried forward or something, don't they?
Yeah, they can get picked up, or they can put themselves in a bubble. Now, if everyone ends up in a bubble at the same time, you lose the level by default, and everyone loses a life. That's the worst cake ever.
yeah.
Look, there's the airship, a la Super Mario Brothers 3.
Ah, yes, with all the Koopalings.
And then we've got the propeller hat, and then we've got the penguin suit. The penguin suit is, first of all, penguins are awesome. I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but they're pretty awesome.
Well, it's better than the raccoon. The raccoon
What did the
suit never
penguin
made much
suit do
sense.
for you in this game?
The penguin suit on this one?
Yeah.
I haven't actually played this, so I am not sure. There's one suit lets you throw ice balls and create ice.
Sounds like the penguin suit.
The penguin suit gives you the ability to throw ice, just like the ice flower does. It also gives you the ability to not slip on ice while you're running on it, and you can actually, when you run, you can crouch and slide on your belly and go through blocks and enemies.
Oh, that'd be pretty sweet.
And just the traction on the ice alone is great.
Well, yeah, platformers are slippery enough as it is.
No doubt. Oh, there it is.
That's a propeller suit.
That propeller suit is fantastic. Blowing clouds out of the way, finding all kinds of hidden items.
Well, that's like
This
the
is
ultimate cape, flying raccoon, bunny suit thing combined.
Could you just always take a vertical leap like that with that suit?
You can take it, but it will eventually make you come down. You spin up, you go back down.
You eventually get too dizzy spinning around in circles.
Yeah. I did it.
And then a round of applause.
Anytime you did some like trick or did something hidden in this game, you always got a round of applause. It was very reassuring.
Oh yes, and you get, it's like Super Mario Brothers 3, you get bonus points if you clear the level while there are enemies right near you.
There's also a trick that you can do when you're playing multiplayer. I know it did it in single player as well on New Super Mario Brothers for the DS, but for the Wii, you have to be in multiplayer. And if the first person touches the flagpole while there's double digits left on the clock, like 311 seconds or 322 seconds, then it will actually play the classic ending music for the level, just like the original Super Mario Brothers. It was always a fun little trick I always like to do.
Yeah.
There's the ice flower in action.
Turn
Yeah,
enemies.
this is.
Ooh,
There's the POW block
brought back the power
from
block.
the original Mario Brothers.
Man, the ice flower is nasty.
I'm telling you, man, that thing can do some damage, can it?
Freeze an enemy and then either shatter them or
Use them as a
throw 'em.
projectile.
Yeah, they're like on a la Super Mario 2. Alright, our last game we have on our list is This is another one I've never played, but I'm really looking forward to playing it. The sequel to Super Mario Galaxy 2, which is supposed to be everything that Super Mario Galaxy was times 10 or 100 or something. Well,
I have not had the pleasure of playing this yet, but I have heard nothing but good things.
well, yeah, they add Yoshi.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything's better with Yoshi. Yoshi's like bacon in a Mario game.
Uh-huh. See, that was Super Mario 2's problem. It didn't have Yoshi.
Super Mario Brothers 2 got a lot of problems.
Yeah,
Mario
maybe
Brothers 2
they would have
had
been tolerable if it
identity
had
issues.
Yoshi.
It thought it was a Mario game, but it didn't know any better.
Yep. So the levels look a little bigger on this one.
Yeah. Maybe more varied in size.
Yeah. But it definitely looks far superior to Mario Galaxy, which sure was quite something to pull off considering how good Mario Galaxy was. They even have portals. Well, I wonder if he gets a portal gun.
Oh, I have a funny story about Portal, but it's never mind. I'll tell you later.
So when are we gonna get Half-Life 2 Episode 3 with the portal gun?
That
Nobody
I have no
knows.
idea.
Nobody knows. Oh, this has a map.
Yeah, they got rid of the overworld hub on Mario Galaxy, which
They got rid of the observatory and went into a map style.
yeah, because I think the
Oh.
observatory was kind of pointless anyway.
I like this. This is awesome. It's New Super Mario Galaxy Wii.
Yeah, yeah.
Whee!
Wow! Yeah, like that.
Mhm. It's like a mini golf course.
Yeah, and
Like a
Yoshi's
mini
the
golf
ball.
course with yeah, with piranha plants.
Yeah. That'd be a very difficult mini golf course.
Oh, and yeah, God, what is his name? The little
Kamek.
witch. What's I can never remember.
Kamek the Magic Koopa.
Oh yeah. See, that's why we have you around. You know all this stuff. I just play it all.
Yeah, that's Kamek, and then I think his mother is Cammy.
That's right. Nom 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 nom.
What's that red thing flying all around them?
I think that is the Wii cursor that you
That
use.
is the cursor.
Okay. Yeah.
What you do is you use the Wiimote to control Mario, and then you use the cursor to control, or you use the nunchuck to control this cursor, with which you can collect stars and aim and shoot stars back at enemies and switches and things like that.
Yeah, the other way around. Nunchuck controls Mario, remote cursor controls your pointer.
Yes, that's what I said. Yeah, okay, you're right.
Well, we should probably end this as we're already at an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, Joel says we're running long, but what does Joel know? He's not even here. Well, I mean, you know,
Marathon.
audibly.
Well, before we go, anyone want to tell people where they can find your crazy shenanigans online?
The market?
Oh yes, your Droidcraft and Droid Hunt games on the Android market.
Of course, I'm working on a new one, kind of sort of like Sonic the Hedgehog. Um, Hopefully get that out in maybe couple weeks.
It's Boomer the Porcupine, right? Yes.
Thinking stick runner, but we'll see if something more creative comes up.
Nice.
And people can follow you on Twitter for most
Yes,
updates and news about your game.
yes, and the occasional to my wife tweet, fruit underscore, because fruit was taken, and there's not a single tweet under the original fruit.
That almost sounds like the Joshua Caleb account.
Ugh. Why did they do this to us?
I don't know. How about you, Zach? Where can people find you on internet or Twitter should they like to follow you and your shenanigans or possibly get offended?
To find all things offensive and IT related from me, you can go follow me on Twitter at Z_Williamson, or if you're resourceful enough, you can find me on Facebook and send me a message.
And you can find me on Twitter at JoshuaCaleb75. And if you would like to watch this again in its full podcast edited in glory without all of the random talk and Skype drops, you can find
And profanity, because I do a lot of that.
I apologize for my profanity, and I apologize to Princess Peach. She doesn't deserve that kind of treatment.
Yeah, so that will all be in the edited version. The censored version will be on my blog, retrogamesforever.com. And you can also find this in iTunes, though still not Zune as far as I know. But you can subscribe to it in a regular podcast feed reader should you want to watch it again. And so thank you all for watching.
Thank
See
you.
likely next week.